Hello everyone, it's Fortuna here. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to like and subscribe to my video. Since you are entering a new year based on Chinese lunar calendar, instead of the typical new moon message, I feel called to do a reading about ancestors' message for horse year. So here in front of you, there are three piles with three crystal bracelets. The first pile is gray crystal. I will tell you after you choose your crystal what is it about. Second pile is this green pink crystal bracelet. And then the third pile is this golden brown crystal with silver stone. So take a deep breath and then feel within your heart and visualize which pile is calling for you. You can also visualize a number and see which one pops up. So don't overthink it and select what calls out for you. Once you make a decision, I'll see you at your reading. Welcome, pile 1. If you feel drawn to this gray crystal bracelet, this pile is for you. So before getting into the cards, let's talk about this crystal. This crystal is about transformation and magic. It's a powerful protector for those working in spirit world because it acts as a shield guarding your aura while simultaneously raising your consciousness to perceive higher truth. So if you choose this pile because you're attracted to this bracelet, you are likely someone who is naturally intuitive, but perhaps you have been feeling disconnected or blocked from wisdom beyond the veil. But this might indicate that your mind is ready to open and your spirit is ready to listen, especially to ancestors. So, with the energy of the labradorite, let's dive into the question that the spirit wants you to focus on today. The guiding question for the first part is how can you work closely with ancestor in this horse? So the energy of the horse here, so I have a pamphlet of the horse here zodiac. The energy of the horse here is about being fast, independent, and driven. It's about movement, but it's also about personal freedom. It tells me that the ancestor work that you are gonna do this year isn't about being chained to the past, but rather moving forward with the speed and strength of the ancestors cheering you on. To be more specific, I actually pulled three oracle cards for you. Let's pull the first one. So the first one is forgiveness. So working closely with your ancestor this year is about releasing the reins that you have been holding on so tightly. It means that ancestors can feel the weight of the baggage that you carry. So the fast-paced energy of the horse means that you cannot gallop forward while dragging a cart full of family resentment. I think in a different way of looking at this, you have to ask yourself, is there a family pattern of blame that you are repeating, that you are carrying with you? Is there something that a parent or grandparent do that you still haven't let go of? And then I do see that with the card forgiveness, you might still be new to ancestor work because the first step in getting into ancestor work is to learn not to just forgive your ancestor or forgive your family members. It's also about forgiving yourself, forgiving your past mistakes, forgiving whatever that you do not know before you make that decision. Now you know better. So learn to forgive the past version of you. And working with ancestors doesn't mean that you are agreeing with everything that they did in their life. It means you are forgiving the past so that their spirit, the pure essence of them, can actually travel with you rather than being stuck in mud of regret. So let's look at the second card, which is growth. So this is where the horse energy gets exciting because the horse is a symbol of power and expansion. Your ancestors are not just interested in the past, they are also heavily invested in your future. They want to see their family line flourish, which is you, because as they are the roots of a tree, you are the new branches reaching for the sun. And working with them in the horse here is about moving out of the resentment energy and basically focusing on your personal goals, whether it is your career, education, relationship, and to pursue them widely. You are asked to step into a version of yourself that is uh, more educated, more peaceful, more successful, and then focus on improving yourself. Basically, that is what you are asked to work closely with your ancestors. And then growth is also a form of deep spiritual connection. I mean, deep spiritual communication with your ancestors. It's basically you saying to your ancestors, I took what you gave me and I ran with it. So, this is what the growth card is about. So, let's move to the third card, which is honoring your energy. So, I feel like with this energy, the horse as a creature of stamina, um, it might gallop, run, but it also needs rest. If the horse is pushed too hard, it will also break. So, as the ancestors are guiding you, they are not asking you to be a martyr. In fact, they are asking you to stop the cycle of self sacrifice. I see that you are probably someone who often say yes to people, to every drama, to every obligation, to every request that drains you. You gotta learn to say no. You gotta learn to set your boundaries. It means saying that I care about you, but I can't take on that request right now. It means protecting your peace and your channel to stay clear. And then I do feel that your ancestor wants you to be someone who is able to live on their own terms, to be a vibrant human, and then not a burnout shell during the horse year. It could be a pattern that you have been living throughout all these years, but this is a reminder that it should not be a pattern that you repeat in the horse year. So, in the horse year, the way that your ancestor want to work closely with you is clear, which is focusing on forgiveness to lighten your load, pursuing growth to make yourself proud of yourself, and fiercely honor your energy so you have the strength to carry their love forward. Now, let's move to the next part, which is the next question. What risk do your ancestor want you to take? Which is, I pulled the card Ace of Wands. So, I feel like if you're looking at the card in this deck, it's very different from the normal Rider Waite. This card has an image of an eagle flying while carrying a wand. So this card represents a spark of inspiration, a new passion, a creative idea, or a new venture that fills you with fire. So, what this card is symbolizing in this deck is that you are that eagle. You have the power, strength, freedom, and divine authority to pick up your passion and fly with it. So, in the context of horse here, I feel like your ancestors are screaming at you to take creative risks. They want you to stop playing small. So, if your passion do light you up, remember that it's worth the risk. So for the next question, what area do your ancestor want you to evaluate during horse year? So I got the card King of Sword here. So while the Ace of Wands told us to move fast and take the risk, this card is here to make sure that you are not moving recklessly, as this card represents mental clarity, truth, authority, and structure. He is the energy of cutting through nonsense and looking at things logically. So I feel like the ancestors are asking you to evaluate your mental boundaries. Basically, go back to honoring your energy and your belief system. Remember that the horse can run fast, but it needs a clear path. If your mind is basically cluttered with confusion, lack of boundaries, remember you will trip. You need this King of Swords energy to clear the path for you this year. And lastly, I also ask, who is your ally for the year of horse other than your ancestor? So I pulled the card Queen of Pentacles, and it is an embodiment of nurturing, security, practicality, and abundance. It is basically an embodiment of a mother figure that is grounded and stable. So I can see that your ally for this year is someone who is earthy and grounded. And it can manifest in a few ways, such as it can be a friend who always feed you. It can also be that one person who always makes sure that you are okay physically and financially. It can also be that friends or people who invites you to eat and let you vent. But in a different way of looking at it, this could also be the energy that you need to cultivate within yourself. So I see the need to treat yourself with respect, with nourishment, and practical care. So let's move to the final part, which I asked 3 pieces of self care advice specifically to strengthen your ancestral work. So let's look at the first one. The first piece of advice is ground yourself. So while this might seem simple, it is the absolute foundation in spiritual work. In the context of this reading, it's very essential that you work on grounding yourself. So, how do you ground yourself? So, basically, grounding yourself is about physical connection. You can try walking barefoot on the grass. You can try gardening with your hands in the soil. You can eat a healthy, nourishing meal. So basically, the horse energy is fast and you need a strong anchor. When you need, when you're grounding yourself, you create a safe container to receive spiritual downloads from your ancestors. So you're basically telling them, I'm here, I'm stable, and I'm ready to receive you in a healthy way. So remember that you are the tree, your ancestors are the root. You need a strong trunk to reach the sun for enlightenment, and grounding builds that trunk. And the second piece of advice is trusting your intuition. So, strengthening our intuition is just like strengthening any muscles in our body. So, I feel like the way that you can do this kind of practices is to listen to physical sensations in our body, like gut feelings, heart centered emotions, or sudden calmness that you may experience when you receive information. And then you are also encouraged to embrace solitude and silence as a way to quiet your mind from external noises. I do see that keeping a journal will be helpful to record your intuitive hits or misses. This is basically to help you track any patterns, which will help validate and refine your inner knowing over time. So you gotta learn to differentiate intuition from fear and anxiety. You need to remember that intuition speaks in statement, while fear and anxiety feels frantic and chaotic. And lastly, remember to start small and slowly affirm yourself over time. And the last card that I've pulled for you is positive affirmation. So this is a confirmation that it's not a confirmation. It's more like a common sense that our ancestors do hear our thoughts, even the negative ones. And I want to affirm that they are here to help us. And by speaking positive affirmations, you will be able to rewire your thought pattern while co creating the reality with your ancestors. So, self care with your ancestor means that they believe you have agency to help yourself and will only step in to help once you reach out for help and ask for their support. So, the positive affirmations that you speak over time will help you build stronger relationship with your ancestors. When you speak more positive affirmations, you will also be able to clear your mind from negative thoughts, allowing yourself to be open to receive love from your ancestors. So basically, this is the message from your ancestor for horse year. I do see the need for you to start forgiving yourself and then tap into your passion and then basically learn to get in touch with your intuition. Hello, Baltu. Welcome to this reading and thank you for being here. If you feel called to this pink and green crystal bracelet, this file is for you. So, before getting into the cards, let's talk about the crystals. So basically, the pink crystal is called rose quartz. So it is a crystal for healing, self-love, and attracting love. And the green crystal is aventurine. It is basically a crystal for heart chakra. It is also good for emotional healing, and importantly, it is a crystal that is good for luck and opportunity. So this indicates that if you are attracted to this bracelet, you are in need of being in tune of your emotion and manifesting lucky opportunity. So with the energy of this crystal bracelet, let's dive into the question that the spirit want you to focus on today. So the guiding question for the first part is how can you work closely with your ancestors during this horse year? So in many tradition, let me pull out this. I have this okay, but I'm not gonna read it. I'm just gonna show you. In many traditions, the horse represents freedom, movement, power, and unbridled energy. So, connecting with your ancestors and working closely with them isn't just about being in front of the altar. I feel like it's about active, dynamic partnership and fostering this kind of partnership with your ancestor require participation in your life and accountability for bettering your life this year. So to answer the question how you can work closely with your ancestor, I pulled three oracle cards for you. So the first one is creativity. So how do you work closely with your ancestor? It is through the act of creation. So the energy that's coming through is that you probably have ancestors who are musician, painter, actor, and even craftsman. So it's giving me the energy of passing down inheritance gifts that they wish you to unlock and explore deeper this year. So even if you don't have such ancestors that you could recall, they may recognize that you have these talents buried deep inside that you need to start working with them this year. So allow yourself to open up your channel to receive the inspiration from them. And for the second card, I pull out this card, Sacred Space. So, if you have started venerating your ancestors, then good job. Then you already know what an ancestor altar is. But if you are new to it, this card is calling you to create a dedicated space where you communicate and have a dialogue with your ancestors. I do see that this is not just about spending more time at the altar. When you are working on your craft, you have to create a dedicated space where you can focus and allow your ancestors to come through you with information, downloads, and inspirations. It can be a working room, it can be in front of your canvas, and it can be at a music studio. So, this sacred space will allow you to pour your heart out as well as harness your intuition in building your craft. And lastly, uh, this is where the rose quartz and adventuring energy comes back in. Because in horsegear, the energy can be fast and so forward moving that it can be draining. So you might exhaust yourself with a lot of passion project and your ancestor is telling you to work with them so they can take care of you when you are exhausted. So when you pour into yourself by following a schedule, by taking proper rest, by eating on time, you are telling your ancestors that you trust the timing in your life to fall accordingly. And they will work on meeting that expectation and meet you halfway. So when you do your part to take care of yourself, the ancestor will take care of the rest of you. So for pile 2, your ancestor, this horse here, are calling you for a beautiful partnership. Get creative with them, build a sacred space dedicated to your craft, and above all else, let your love teach you how to love yourself better. For the second part, we're gonna use tarot. So first, what risk do your ancestor want you to take this horse here? So I pulled the card Knight of Wands. So this card is about charging forward to take on challenge with determination. So what I do see interesting is what caught my eye is the horse. So as you can see, it seems to be a mixed breed of horse and zebra. So I do feel like what your ancestor want you to take risks this horse here is to bet on your weirdness that make you stand out. So don't be afraid or ashamed of what make you unique, and instead ride on it as a source of strength and power to carry you forward. So the knight on this deck is also wrapped by a snake. So I do see that you are asked to carry the wisdom that you learned from 2025, which is snake year, with you into horse year. Remember to embrace what makes you unique and stand out. So for the next question, I asked, what area do your ancestor want you to evaluate during this horse year? I pulled 8 of Cups. So 8 of Cups is about being filled with memories, and you are asked to reevaluate what no longer serves you, and you may have to leave behind everything that you thought you wanted, and your ancestor want you to step back and search for your purpose. I do think you have to ask yourself, who are you after a year of snake year shedding your skin? So you may no longer be the same person after shedding your skin during the whole snake year. The past now is already a distant memory, and it it no longer serves you. It's about letting go of the past. And then you are asked to evaluate what kind of path that you want to forge now that you are moving forward during the horse year. And then for the next part, I ask, who is your ally for the year of horse other than your ancestor? So we got the Knight of Swords card. And here you can see the knight riding a mice. And in Japanese folklore, mice are intelligent, resourceful, and ambitious, unlike what is usually believed around the world. So, mice here is believed to move quickly and decisively in pursuit of purpose. Uh, and the mice is moving towards the other side of fear. So, it's giving that the other people that you should keep around yourself could be the people who have these qualities and can motivate you to embrace these qualities. And it could be people who are student minded, people who are learners, people who are open to make mistakes, but they're also not afraid to move forward. And remember that this is not just about the people around you. You are also encouraged to embody these qualities to go after your goals this year. For the final part, I asked, what are the self-care advice that you can practice to strengthen your ancestor work this year? So I pulled the card family, and it might be straightforward to maintain your relationship with your blood family, but I'm thinking of those of you who might have a complicated relationship with your family, and those of you who might not know who their family is. And in this case, you can rely on your chosen family for support. It's still considered family. And even if you only have pets as your family member, taking care of them is still a valuable care work that you put. I see that this card as a reminder that you are not alone. And then it is a reminder that you are supported, you are cherished, you are loved. Your ancestor want you to know that they are grateful to have you as your family member, and know that you can always turn to them for help and support. The second self care advice is to flow like water. I think you know that we are all made of 70% of water. So remember to allow yourself to flow like one. This card informs me that you may tend to feel stuck or stiff, which is why you are attracted to rose quartz and adventuring, because it will ask you to stay in tune to your emotion. And this is an invitation for you to work with water element and even to work with water spirit. And you got to spend more time in a body of water like river and meditating by the river. So when you step into the river, try to feel the current of water and listen to the sound of the nature. You can also go swimming, like the picture of this card, and explore how a body of water feels on your skin and your body. So the purpose of this self-care activity is to allow your emotions to move freely within your body without feeling stuck and causing you pain. So when you do this work, you'll be able to step uh, into your creativity better. So, lastly, I do see the need to tap into music as self care advice to strengthen your ancestor work. So, I'm not sure if you know, but music is the oldest language in civilization. So, when you tap into music, you will also be able to improve your communication with your ancestor. And then you will also get to allow your body to move freely to the music as you allow emotions to travel and be expressed healthily. Your ancestor would also find it easier to deliver you messages, which sometimes they do during using music. And when you use music in your ancestor work, you may also find that your clairaudience also improving as you will be a clear channel of your ancestor. So basically, that's all the reading for pile 2. I do see that you are a creative medium for your ancestors and they want to work closely with you on that. And if you do feel the call to work closely with your ancestor on creativity, you can always call upon them and ask for their help to help you channel more creative insights, more inspiration, more ideas. I hope this reading resonates with you. Please don't forget to leave a comment if you find this resonating. See you on the next video. Bye bye. Welcome, Paltry. Thank you for being here. If you are attracted to this bracelet, this pal is for you. Before getting to the cards, let's talk about the crystal. So this this golden brown is tiger's eye, and the silver gray is hematite. So tiger's eye is a crystal for taking action. It's basically good for building confidence and stamina. It's also good for willpower. And hematite is basically a potent grounding stone. It will be able to help provide a sense of stability and enhance focus. And it is also a good stone for emotional balance and absorb negative energy. So I do see that if you're attracted to this bracelet, you probably absorb other people's energy easily. That may cause you to get overwhelmed a lot. So, with the energy of the crystal, let's dive into the question that your ancestors want you to focus today. So, the guiding question for the first part is how can you work closely with your ancestors during horse year? So, in Chinese zodiac, okay, let me take out my pamphlet. Ta-da! But I'm not gonna read the fortune of from this. I'm just gonna explain that the year of horse basically represents energy, freedom, and forward momentum. So it is traditionally seen as fast-paced time that rewards bold action and decisiveness over hesitation. So I immediately see that with this bracelet, it will help you become more decisive this year. So let's look at the specific of this reading. I pulled three oracle cards for you. The first one is healing energy. So to answer how you can work closely with your ancestor during this past year, it is through connecting with your healing energy. So from the start, my intuition tells me that the majority of you that pick this pile would be healer. And when you are a healer, you tend to absorb other people's energy when you have not learned to shield yourself. So being a healer can be in many forms. Um, you know how typically it might look like doing energy work and doing Reiki, but your signature as a healer would would be different, you know. For example, you could be a masseuse who gently rub and massage others' negative energy away. And you could also be a healer who make beauty products that heal others of shame, doubts, and negative energy. And I do see that this year you will explore how you position yourself uniquely as a healer. And second, you will step into masculine energy as you work closely with your ancestor with being a healer. So when you choose this bracelet, I could tell that you may be plagued with overthinking and difficulty to take action. So stepping into masculine energy is about embracing that assertiveness, that authority inside you, the leader inside you who can lead others. When you combine masculine energy with healing energy, you start to be a healer that is more proactive. So you will no longer be a healer in theory. Uh, I do see that when you start tapping into your masculine energy, you will start seeing how you are allowing others to steal your healing energy, and you will probably start to build better boundaries so that your healing can go to you first. And then when you are ready, you will step into this role as a healer. And the last card is New Day, which is a card of new beginning. This is showing me that a new form of relationship with your ancestors will take place. Your relationship with them will elevate and deepen during past year. So I do see that you will be working closely with your ancestors on manifesting new reality for you. It could be about anything that you want, whether career, education, or relationship, but you will co create with your ancestors in bringing in reality that you desire. So, this horse year, you will simply not be a passive observer of your life. You will be proactive in taking chances and improving your life situations, and your ancestors will be close by your side. So, paltry with the tiger's eye and hematite bracelet, you are encouraged to build confidence in your healing energy, which is by stepping into masculine energy and creating new beginnings for yourself. So, your ancestors are calling you to acknowledge the healer side of you. So, for the next part, we will use tarot cards. So the next question is, what risk do your ancestor want you to take this horse year? And I pulled three of cups. And this card is about celebration, friendship, and sharing. So you have to understand that there is power when people come together to revel in life's joys. And because you tend to absorb other people's energy easily, you may avoid making friends and joining gathering. However, however, this card is reminding you to celebrate the moments you share with the people that you care about. So, yeah, take a small risk this horse year to make new friends, to join community events, and also maybe to meet up old friends. I do see a need for you to embrace the beauty of community and to raise a toast to life's simple pleasure. Remember that everyone belongs somewhere, and you too, paltry, belong somewhere. So, next, what area do your ancestors want you to evaluate during this horse year? And I pulled the Six of Swords. So, this card represents sailing away from struggles of the past into better place. So, sailing across water signifies the journey of one phase in life to another. And I do think you may have lost something when you are making this transition, but your ancestor is asking you how you can leave the old to embrace the new. And you may have been lost in your mind a lot while being forced to make transition, and your ancestor is reminding you that while you are sailing into new possibilities in life, you have to take note of how new possibilities are opening up in front of you now. So remember that losing something is a redirection of something better. That's that is your that is your ancestors' messages from this card. And lastly, who is your ally for the year of horse other than your ancestors? Here we have the Hierophant, and this is a card of tradition, spirituality, guidance, teaching, and wisdom. So, in person, I do see that it signifies someone who embodies a sage and a teacher energy who is not afraid and ashamed of sharing knowledge with you. And this could be people who remind you of spirituality. These are the people who remind you to go back to your own tradition or culture. And alternatively, you are reminded to embody this energy, especially when you decide to be a healer yourself. Uh, don't be stingy with the knowledge that you have about healing, when you have successfully learned to heal yourself, learn to share the wisdom and knowledge about how to heal yourself too with others. This is the message that this card is about. So, for the final part, we will look into the self care advice that you need to engage in order to strengthen your ancestor work. The first one is alone time. So, as a healer who easily absorb others' energy, it's very important that you have an alone time. This is basically for you to declutter yourself from any external noises. This type of activity is important for you to tune in into your energy so you understand how your body works. This is important so that you stay away from constantly being bombarded by other people's energy and noises. So, setting an alone time is definitely a part of healthy boundaries to recharge your energy. And as a healer who would be working with cleansing and clearing other people's energy, alone time will help you to regain your strength and find a space to nourish yourself. at your own pace. And I do see that when you are a healer, alone time is definitely vital and a non negotiable. And next, we have journaling. So, journaling is a good self care activity because you would be able to tap into your emotions that allow you to express your emotions in a healthy way. And you can also track your emotions as a healer. And I do think that the best benefit of journaling is that you can track how your body sends other people's energy. You can take note of what healing method you do and what works in releasing the stuck energy. And alternatively, you can also use journaling for manifestation, since you'd be working closely with your ancestor in creating new reality. So write down what you wish to achieve and probably only look back at the journal at the end of horse year, which is in February 2027. And lastly, the practice of journaling will help you to trust in your experience better. And the last one is to sync with the moon. So, as you are encouraged to step into the masculine energy, which is symbolized by the sun, working with lunar phases will help balance you out. So you can work with new moon energy for manifestation. You can use candle magic. You can use ritual bath and setting intention during this time. So during full moon, I see that you can work on releasing your negative thoughts or negative patterns that you want to break free from. Other than that, you can sync your self care rituals with lunar phases. And if you are a astrology girly and you know your moon sign, you can track how the moon transit affect you every 2.5 days. But eventually, you do have to balance both lunar and sun energy to ensure that your ancestor work during this horse year will be grounded. So that's all for pile tree. I do see that the horse here is calling you to step into being a healer. And by being a healer, you have to be proactive and start manifesting your reality. And I do see working with community and stepping away from what no longer serves you and surrounding yourself with your teacher and a mentor or spiritual guides. And lastly, these are the self-care activity that you can do to strengthen your work. So I hope this reading resonate with you. Please comment how you resonate with this reading and let me know what kind of video you want to see in the future. So see ya. Bye bye.